Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast. The podcast reviews movies and reviews that merch shit. This is episode 755, and is your long-awaited review of Rhapsody in August as we continue our Akira Kurosawa film month. As always, this is Nerd Gonna Hear the host. Show on one of my wonderful co-hosts, Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to
I streamed today, Brad.
Wonderful,
I've been talking a lot today.
wonderful Tuesday, and shout out to my host, Porky Pig, right now.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I had to fucking. I worked. What's it called? I streamed today, so I've been talking about a lot today. Yeah. Brad, as always, we're live early and ad-free over on patreon.com/nerdcore. For this drops on, I want to say Saturday at 12 p.m. Central Time for everybody else. I hope everyone's having a great day. This is, once again, we fucked up the month, so it's okay. We're going to be, doing the thing this week where we only have one Kurosawa review.
We're going to be reviewing things and stuff.
But, as always, we're continuing on with this month, and, this just the journey that it took to fucking even do this damn movie review, because we have so many, just even find this fucking movie.
Yep.
But before we can go ahead and get into that, Brad, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Ro, doing well. I just went to work today. That was about it. Came home, so. Yeah, nothing much to report today. Uneventful.
That's it?
That's it.
That's pretty much it.
That's all I did.
Brad confused the shit out of me today, but I misread.
I said Thursday.
Yeah, and it's okay because Thursday I'm not gonna be I can't because I'm working.
You're working, so
it's all good. Yeah, man. Brad, all I did today was I took Maya. I took Maya to get groomed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I streamed, played more of The Last of Us Part 2.
Very cool.
And I mean, have been having a great time with that game. I came back to streaming today. Very happy to be streaming again.
Is it better than the first one?
I'm not done with it yet, so I won't say that yet.
All
but
right. Reserve judgment.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, man, it's been pretty chill today. I watched this movie because I did not get the chance to watch it yesterday, and yeah, it's just been quite the pretty chill day. I do have to work out after this, and I do have to go to work tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun. But other than that, man, just. Brad, I know a lot going on here, but this review was supposed to happen last week.
Yes,
and,
we couldn't find the movie.
I could have sworn, Brad, this movie was available somewhere.
I mean, I would have figured Criterion would have this, but nope.
It is almost an absolute tragedy that this movie is not physically available to us in the United States.
I mean, especially for people wanting, like, even if you don't necessarily like the movie, people wanting to like finish their Kurosawa, like to go through and watch all the Kurosawa movies. It really sucks that like you can't find this like on any streaming platform.
Yeah. It's crazy because like for the people who want to watch, like, to do the completion, right? Who want to complete. It's like, damn, this is nowhere. But it's also, after watching it today, it's like, it's almost a crime that this movie isn't available for us.
No, I figured it's a good slice of life movie. I figured it would be available somewhere.
Yeah. I was forced my hand to, go other routes, right? As one does.
That we won't admit.
Yeah, we won't admit.
We found it. And we watched it. And now we're here.
Now we're here, right? Because, it's what's it called? We're here to do this movie. It's not like Those Who Make Tomorrow that's just not available. We're saying this film was available on Tubi, for shame. No, not even Tubi.
Actually, I didn't even check Tubi, but I didn't even see it listed for Tubi, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Because usually Tubi has like some form of it, even if it's one without the right music.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm just glad that we're able to get to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, I guess we can actually get to work on this because I wasn't expecting us to to be here. To be able to do this, but you know what? Somebody came through and helped me out, and I found a way to watch this. So,
Indeed. So
yeah,
we're here. Let's get ready for this review.
let's do this thing, man. So, if you are in the United States, you probably haven't seen this movie. Let's be honest. But for those of y'all who are watching this and you care about spoilers and you haven't seen the film, you should probably get out of here. We care about that. If you've already seen the film or you just don't give a shit about about spoilers, you can stay. Either way, how any of that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and this is in effect after these words from our sponsors. In a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerd Court is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCourt. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. So, right, let's do this, Brad.
Yeah.
I'm going to be reading. Yeah, I'm going to be reading. All right, Brad, fuck off. I'm going to be reading a combination of two sources here. Just because, for all the people on fucking Reddit who know everything about, like, who spend their lives devoted to to all these different things, you would imagine one of them would fucking write out a goddamn good article on Wikipedia.
Nah.
No.
Nah. We run into a bunch of Kurosawa on Wikipedia where it's just 2 sentences.
Yeah. So, here we go. Rhapsody in August is a 1991 Japanese film by Akira Kurosawa based on the novel Nabunaka by Kyoko Murata. The story centers on an elderly hibakusha, and that just means the people who were affected by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Who lost her husband in the 1945 atomic bombing of Nagasaki, caring for her 4 grandchildren over the summer. She learns of a long-lost brother, Sujiro, living in Hawaii, who wants her to visit him before he dies. American film star Richard Gere appears as Sujiro's son Clark. The film was selected as the Japanese entry for the Best Foreign Language Film at the 64th Academy Awards, but was not accepted as a nominee. Why? Oh. Was accepted as a nomination, but just not a nominee. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhapsody in August is one of 3 sole-directed Kurosawa films to feature a female lead, and the first in nearly half a century. The others are The Most Beautiful in 1944 and No Regrets for Our Youth in 1946. However, Kurosawa also directed most of the female-led Uma in 1941, which is a drama film. It's a 1941 drama film that he's credited as an assistant director, but he directed most of that movie.
Yeah, but why don't we consider One Wonderful Sunday to have a pretty starring female lead?
Yeah.
Personally.
Screenplay is it's your nose. I don't even know what the fuck I just said there. Cinematography is by Takao Saito, Shoji Ueda. Music is by Shin Ichiro Ikebe. And sits at an hour and 38 minutes. And it made 820 million yen from rentals in Japan,
Japan, and then
and 9 million overseas.
That might be one of the more. That movie might have made one of the more money
more
at the box
successful.
office than a lot of others.
A lot of other Kurosawas, I guess.
Yeah.
So, this is the penultimate, by the way. This is the penultimate directorial work from Kurosawa, meaning that this is the second to last film that he made.
Mm-hmm.
The film follows for children. Preparations for Rhapsody in August began immediately after the release of Dreams, a change of pace for the now 80-year-old Kurosawa, who had for the past 25 years released a film only once every 5 years. The production was a departure from the past decade's works, also in that it was Kurosawa's first fully Japanese-funded film since the 1970 Dodeskaden, which is crazy. Yeah, Dodeskaden.
Anybody who's seen that movie know what that means.
Yeah. Kurosawa Production Company and a group of investor companies behind the production. The screenplay, adapted by Kurosawa alone, was based on a novel in The Stew. Reportedly written in just 15 days. The film stars Sachiko Murasi as a grandmother and bomb survivor Kane in what would be her last film appearance, crowning a 70-year acting career, which started in theater and saw Murasi appear in close to 100 films, as well as numerous works for television and radio. Before appearing in Kurosawa's adaptation of In the Stew, Murata had already acted in the same role in a stage adaptation based on the same novel. The other main roles were carried by child actors, all of whom have continued working in the industry, and two of whom had already worked with Kurosawa on Dreams. In other roles, the American film star Richard Gere famously plays Kane's half-American nephew. Rhapsody in August was shot during 1990 and was released in Japan on May 25th, 1991, to a polite but somewhat muted reception. The film was nevertheless nominated for altogether 10 Japanese Academy Awards, winning 4 of them. Reception abroad was similarly muted, with the United States an exception. At the time of its release, Rhapsody in August received more negative press in the United States than any other Kurosawa film had, as most American critics and journalists appeared to largely misunderstand the film's themes and intentions. You think? Rhapsody in August was attacked by them for being an anti-American film that simplified the complex historical and political situation which led to the atomic bombings, and was especially heavily criticized for a scene where Richard Gere's character apologizes to Kane. However, as Mitsuhiro Yoshimoto argues in his chapter on the film, these accusations are absolutely groundless and the result of a total and simplistic misreading of the film and the scene in question.
Americans would never.
No. Maybe media literacy just hasn't been a thing in a long time.
Yeah.
Rhapsody in August is in fact not all that interested in the atomic bombing itself or the events that led to it, and instead explores the rich and more interesting human element by asking how the bombings have in 45 years affected the society into which they were dropped. Instead of political work, it is a film about memory, healing process, and generational differences. In fact, as Stephen Prince writes, if the film does criticize something, it is the film's middle generation who were born in the 1940s and witnessed Japan's post-war economic boom. For them, the film has less sympathy than for the elderly or the young, portraying them largely as what Prince calls greedy and shallow opportunists. While Shohei Nomura's Black Rain, which we watched, the atomic ramen, is this from like a film club, by the way?
Okay.
Yeah. Akira Kurosawa and the Atomic Age published perspectives on Akira Kurosawa. Kurosawa, in fact, says about the atomic bombing, it is absolutely unfilmable. The state of destruction and of such terrible human anguish does not belong to the realm of the presentable. It is better to evoke and nurture the imagination that is far more terrifying. I have not seen Nimamura's motion picture, but I think it is impossible to film such events. Things reach a point where the people who experience the events cannot even speak about them. They are unspeakable. The impossibility of speaking about bombing is effectively depicted in by Kane's elder bomb survivor, who she regularly meets to discuss the event. Two women sit in silence alone. Okay. Um, that's kind of it. Oh, that's crazy. So, in their in their book club, the next one that they're watching is Grave of the Fireflies in their
Oh,
film club, which just happened a long time ago already. So,
yeah, but
yeah, yeah.
good luck to them.
I do want to read this though, because I think it was so interesting. Because Kurosawa spoke to Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who's my favorite author of all time, and he told them that I have not filmed shockingly realistic scenes which would prove to be unbearable and yet would not explain in and of themselves the horror of the drama. What I would like to convey is the type of wounds that atomic bomb left in the heart of our people and how they gradually began to heal. Which I think is probably the best way to describe this movie. But let me read what Stacy's got here. As Jeff Goldman would say, film finds a way. America's never wrong, sir. Just ask the folks in our newest state, Canada.
America's hat.
Yeah. Brad, I want to just open up by saying that, I mean, we're almost done here. We have 3 left.
Yep.
So we've seen a lot of
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa. I think this might be one of the saddest movies that Kurosawa ever made.
Yeah, pretty sad.
Because he really does open the wound here pretty hard.
I mean, I don't
Almost
know.
like it broke my heart watching the grandmother have that panic attack at the end
Yeah.
when the lightning struck and she struck and she thought that it was the bomb.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd put it up there. Like, I thought, like, movies like Dodos Kaiden. I think that one is extremely
That was really sad too.
That one's extremely sad. This is also sad. But I think this is a very interesting Kurosawa film. It's not my favorite. I'll just throw that out there. But I think it's very interesting. This might be the most modern Kurosawa he ever made. Modern looking, modern story.
Yeah. I feel like if
even got
Kurosawa
Richard
would have
Gere in
lived
it.
longer, I think a lot of his movies would have looked like this.
Yeah. And I don't know, like 91, I'm sure there was a lot of talking heads and, this is an anti-war movie. It's not just it's not anti-American. It's an
It's not.
anti-war movie.
Yeah.
So that I think people like
I also think a lot of it's
Get
because
that.
of the translation too, right? Like there's some stuff that
there's some translation stuff where I'm like, I don't know if that's what I think it meant, but we'll get to that.
but yeah, I think a lot of the translate like hey, this is where, things like, a company picking this thing up and being able to, what's it called? Do this and bring this to a new restoration, and a new what's it called?
Yeah.
And a
The-
new translation would be
New
very
dialogue
helpful.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Because there are scenes in there where I'm just going, I don't think that meant what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah. I agree.
I think the film looks great. I'll give him props for that. Yes, I think it does very well to show, like, I consider this a slice of life movie in a way, a sad slice of life. But you're right, it's a grandma and her 4 grandchildren as her 2 kids are vacationing in Hawaii, with the excuse that they're going to visit their great uncle.
Yeah.
Their uncle, which the grandmother doesn't even remember, which is kind of sad. It's
Yeah.
like so much happened where you don't even remember your oldest brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brad, I look at this movie and I'm just, because if you know Kurosawa, there's like so many events that are just really traumatic to him.
Yeah.
And
The earthquake,
the earthquake,
that was pretty bad.
and I'm pretty sure he was alive for this, right? Kurosawa was alive for
Pretty
for the
positive
bomb.
he was alive for the bombing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He was alive for the bombing. So, those are things that to him, were very pivotal moments of
Yeah,
his life
yeah,
that really
I mean-
shaped him to be the person that he was. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
alive for the bombing.
he was in his 30s.
Yeah. Yeah. So and it's so interesting now seeing that, reading that thing that is about like talking about the people who were born during that time and seeing them as opportunists, and it's like, because that really doesn't like describe Kurosawa, but it also kind of does.
I
Like,
I mean, the thing being, well, we see it with our generations, and I feel like every generation gets called out on that. So I don't know if you can take that. You have to take that with a grain of salt. Is every
yeah,
generation gets called out for their bullshit or what people perceive as bullshit. Um, and I think it is kind of called out by Kurosawa on this. He is showing the kids kind of are opportunists and want their grandmother to go there because they think there's going to be a will involved when their uncle died, and they want her to
yeah,
inherit, which means they eventually inherit.
yeah, yeah. It's
Whereas the
very
kid,
sad.
as the young grandkids, just want a vacation. I think.
Yeah, which is like, and they don't see just how much pain their grandmother's going through with this. First of all, these kids are fucking ungrateful as shit.
Yeah,
If I would have ever said any of those words about my grandmother's
your
cooking,
grandma would have beat you.
she wouldn't have beat me,
She would have beat you. Like they
but she
said,
would have came
grandma.
really close.
Yeah, grandma, you're cooking like it's not for us, and it's just like whoa,
Well, it's simple. My grandma would have said, "Okay, don't eat."
chunkla. Bah.
Yeah, she would have said, she would have left that plate there and said, "Don't eat."
Yeah,
But if you're hungry, that you're gonna have to eat that
but then they
because I'm
like,
not gonna make anything else.
talk about her teeth, and then they're just ragging on the grandmother for the movie, which kind of shitty. But I mean, kids are kind of shitty.
Kids are shitty, bro. Kids are
Kids are
shitty,
just shitty.
and
Um,
that really shows, because it's just so interesting how Kurosawa shows those three generations. Because he shows, you know, the grandma's generation, and then the middle age people,
yeah.
and how they're not really sure how they're supposed to react to this. Because they're
Well,
the ones who are. It's interesting because those are really the ones who are stuck in the middle, Brad. Who are kind
and
of like,
but
we know what happened, but like we're not sure if we're supposed to inherit the trauma of our parents' generation.
predecessors. Yeah, but I think the parents in that situation, they're also kind of shitty. I mean, they basically went to on a trip, and I don't know if they like really show any care for their uncle who's sick. They kind of just like hanging out in his mansion by the ocean, and then they bring home a bunch of pineapples. Um, there's that, but I think the kids at the end of this show a little more, I don't know, gratefulness, like
Yeah,
because they keep returning to where their grandfather died,
yeah.
and that's something.
That's why I don't really see the kids as the opportunists. I see more the middle-aged people as the opportunists. Those are
Why?
the ones who
Why?
really like.
It's literally called out when they're talking about an inheritance or
Yeah,
money, and the grandmother is just like, enough. If
yeah,
I'm going because I'm going to see my brother before he dies.
yeah. And I'll say Richard Gere is decent in this movie. I won't say it's like his best role,
I mean, he's
but
literally in the movie for like what, 10 minutes,
10 to 15 minutes.
if that.
Yeah, if at most. Um, but what's it called? I gotta say the grandmother to me is the one who's the best in this movie. She's just
Yeah,
great.
I mean, I
Um,
think the older kids play good roles. They're pretty good in
yeah,
this. Although there are some very awkward scenes, which I'm hoping are translation, because otherwise
yeah,
this is Alabama and Japan. Um,
yeah. That
because
was a
there's
little
that
weird.
scene where they go to see the trees struck by lightning, and like I said that too. I'm like, I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, but like I had to rewind that and go, did I just read what I think he was trying to do? And at the time, like it's never really conferred what the relation is. They just say they're brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
And further towards the end of the movie, you realize, oh, she's a stepsister. And then I think about that, I'm going, that doesn't make it any better on what I just saw him try to do.
yeah, yep. I will say this though. I agree with Brad. This is not my favorite Kurosawa film. It moves a little too quick for my
Well, it's only an hour and 30
taste.
minutes too.
Yeah, but still, Brad, we've seen an hour and 30 minutes that move just fine. But this is a
Yeah.
little too quick, almost where the second half just feels like it's rushing way too fast to end. Uh,
Yeah.
I also don't know how long this novel is. I don't know if there was like so much to what's it called, not a lot to adapt. But I can also kind of notice where this script was written in 15 days. Because
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot of meat to this screenplay. There's also moments where it's like, oh, there's not a lot going on here. Sorry, Brad. Good old stepsister girlfriend. Yup.
No.
No.
Just awkwardness.
Mm,
Awkwardness in that household.
yeah. But nonetheless, Brad, I still think it's a really, really good movie, and I really like this movie.
I'm probably not as in love with this just because I mean we've seen so many Kurosawas, and like this to me is a slice of life, and I understand where you're coming from. It tells it's an anti-war movie, which is
Yeah.
great. We've seen anti-war movies from Kurosawa before in many ways.
Yeah.
Um, this is a very interesting one just because it's a more modern take from Kurosawa, and I don't know if I necessarily am particular about that because I think the next modern one you get, like the closest is One Wonderful Sunday, which takes place in what the 50s,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I prefer that slice of life. But can you see the fingerprint of Kurosawa in this? Yes,
Yeah.
but I think also what happens is I watched Dreams before I watched this one. And I don't know. This one falls flat to me in comparison to Dreams if we're talking about his more modern films.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I still think it's a really, really good movie. I think that it's very strong, not just in its performances, in its music, but I think that like thematically, it's saying a lot that maybe we're not really, ready to talk about per se at that time, and we're still kind of not ready to
I
talk
mean,
about.
I don't know if America will ever be. America's not good at admitting our faults.
No, we're not. No,
If you've
we're not.
if you've
Not at all.
noticed at all,
Well,
we
because, well, I mean, it's just the idea of taking this as anti-American is very stupid.
no,
Because, like,
it's anti-war.
yeah,
They literally he spells it out with the grandmother saying, "It's not anything against America, but if they truly, you know, wanted to stop at the bomb, they would have stopped dropping bombs." That was the whole thing. It's like America's not anti-war. We're not. We're a very wartime country, and that's how we make a lot of money.
yeah. And it's like when Richard Gere apologizes to the grandmother, he's not really talking about like the bomb. He's just talking about like him being sorry for his what's it called, for the loss of her husband,
I think it's a
of his
multiple
uncle.
things. I think it's the loss of his uncle. It's his absence because he didn't know that absence there. I mean, I think that's all over that part of the film is
Yeah.
Richard Gere. Because he was like when he's in the cab and they're like, "Oh, we'll take you to a hotel." He's like, "No, I'm
No,
going to
I'll
stay with
stay at
Auntie."
Auntie's house. Yeah.
Yeah, and but the first thing he wanted to do is go see whether his uncle died. Which I mean, very powerful imagery of those affected by the bombing, the people who were blind coming with the flowers and
Yeah.
continue to upkeep to add beauty where there was such destruction, in a way.
That's what I'm telling you, man. I feel like moments like that are what make this like really strong,
There are
really strong
multiple
film.
there are multiple moments in this which are very strong. I just don't think like it's makes it throughout the whole film. There are great moments. There's a moment where the grandmother has a speech. I think it's with the children. And then there's that. There are moments on this that are very touching, very beautiful, but I just don't think, like, in comparison to some of his other films, even with those, it's not as strong as, like, Throne of Blood, Rashomon,
Yeah.
Dreams, One Wonderful Sunday, Ikiru. I mean, we could go on and name a lot of films which probably have a stronger, theme and stronger filmmaking behind it than this one.
Yeah. So Brad, what's your final verdict then?
I'm thinking I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
I'm coming in higher than you, Brad.
Yeah, I knew you were. I mean, you
Yeah.
already said you like this movie. more than me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm giving this a 8.75 out of 10. I think that that's actually really good, and I think it's one of those where over time you could really learn to appreciate more of it.
yeah, maybe.
And I'm just really just not happy with the fact that like this hasn't been touched
Like
since.
released or a DVD. Like
Yeah.
it's very
So we
difficult to
have a
find.
DVD in the U.S. I'm looking at this right now. We do have a DVD in the U.S., but like this was released in 2003, Brad.
Yeah, so there's been no
It's
updates
22
to this
years.
movie.
Like,
I mean, even with that, the movie doesn't look bad.
no, it doesn't look bad. But I'm thinking like, preserving this and like preservation and all that stuff, it'd be great for,
Yeah,
for what's it called, things
for
like this
for
to
the
be,
whole collection criterion, the whole
yeah, it's
collect
like,
like
and I'm not sure, I'm gonna double check this, but I'm pretty sure this is not available on that AK-100 set because
no, I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. I think Matadayo is though.
Yeah, Matadayo, I'm sure Dodus Kaiden. I'm sure there's a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know. This film doesn't affect me like a lot of the other Kurosawas where I'm wowed by it. It just doesn't. I get what you're saying. There's good themes through it, but that's every Kurosawa movie.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, I think Ikiru. Ikiru affects me more
yeah.
just because of where I'm at in life than this one affects me.
Yeah. This isn't on what's it called? This isn't in the AK-100 set. Not even
Yeah.
fucking Dreams is in this set. Only what's it called? Matadayo is though.
Yeah,
But,
Matadayo, which makes sense. That was his last film.
yeah. Would like for them to release Matadayo on Blu-ray, but yeah.
I think when you watch Matadayo, you'll realize like it kind of makes sense why he made it his last film. Like the stuff that's happening in because it's like a big party.
Yeah. But with that said, yeah, that concludes our review, Brad. And
I'll just put it out there. I don't think any Kurosawa movie has gone under 6
I don't think so
in
either,
any
Brad.
of our reviews.
Well, I mean, mine. Yeah, but I need to go back and watch. I need to go back and watch what's it called, Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, I don't know how you. Yeah, I don't know how you dislike Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Hidden Fortress was the first Kurosawa movie. I absolutely love that movie. That got me into Kurosawa.
Yeah, I like it.
But there's a lot better than Hidden Fortress. So
yeah,
I'll just throw that out there.
I want to know what the fuck, because there's like this, like, right, there's this, what's it called, Masterworks, what's it called, box set where they included this movie, so I want to know where the hell. So this movie was released in the UK in 2008, so there's recent releases of this shit. Like, there's no fucking.
It's floating around
excuse here.
somewhere. It just hasn't made it to the US. For
Yeah.
probably obvious reasons if people have taken this to be anti-American. So
Fucking idiots.
I never said they were bright.
Fucking idiots, that's what they are. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's what's it called? It's a damn shame that this movie probably won't ever make it here.
Maybe not with what the current times are.
Yeah, well, Brad, this is why I gotta make a lot of money so that way I can bring it over here.
I agree.
I can pay for the restoration on my own and like, yeah.
Or you could send me over there to go get it.
Yeah, somebody gotta go steal it. But other than that, man, that concludes our review of Rhapsody in August. And as always, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Check us out on nerdcore.com, Twitter at nerdcore_, Instagram at the nerdcore, Letterboxd at the nerdcore, TikTok at the nerdcore, Patreon.com/nerdcore. Discord link is in the description below. Click, what's it called? If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. Tell us, have you ever seen this movie? If you haven't, you should probably go and find a way to watch it. If you have, what do you think about it?
Maybe we should rent a theater and show it.
Yeah. What's it called? What do you think about it if you have watched it? Where does it stack up for you and other Kurosawa films? Just talk to us in the comments. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss another video that drops on the channel. If you're watching this if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app of choice, drop a 5-star review and follow us on that app. And of course, we would like to thank our patrons. Without them, none of this is possible. That's why they get this early before anybody else gets to watch it, and they get it ad free with no ad. And I got to get to work on recording our ad for Proton VPN, which I don't think we can have a custom link. So sorry, guys, but I'll have the link for y'all.
Did you know there was a movie called An August Rhapsody in 1940?
No.
I'm looking on Letterboxd right now. Sorry.
Yeah. But with that said, Brad, tell them about our executive producer Shane.
You follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/xsrk or on Twitter at thrifted.il or go buy something from this suppy god at dpop.com/ dpop.com/prison city vintage.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay, Brad, you got it.
Yay,
Shane.
Shane.
You can speak.
I can read.
Yeah. Yeah. I can read.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like these box sets that I'm looking at, these are all fucking, what's it called? They're fucking Japanese releases. Yeah. I was like, when the fuck did these sets get released? Like, these look great. But I also do not have $698.49 to drop on it. Not quite there as the fucking the price of the AK-100 said though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't think anybody's ever gonna pay for that, bro.
I'm not gonna.
But with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back on Friday for Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episode 3. And then Saturday we can do Episode 4. So that we can just be fully caught up now. Yeah. And we can just go week to week now. So, with that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Brad, we'll see you patrons. We'll see you tomorrow for Spawn.
All right. Sounds good.
Set them out.
Thank you, Raul, for being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat. Thank you to our listeners out there, Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, go watch Grave of the Fireflies. Young, get out.
Oh, no.